Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to today's video. We are picking the very last monthly TBR of 2025 today, which sounds absolutely insane. I cannot believe how quickly this year has flown by, but here we are getting into the last month of the year, so we are going to be doing a lot of lasts of things this next month, I think. As always, we have our TBR jar here. We're gonna pick 5 prompts for 5 books, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't actually know what mood I'm in right now. Like, I don't know what genres I want to read. I feel very free right now because over the summer I was very much into literary and contemporary fiction. Throughout the fall, I became just like way more obsessed with fantasy again, and like now I don't really know what I'm in the mood for, which is super fun because that means we are just going to allow our TBR jar to have full reign and we'll just see what we pick out of the jar for this next month. But I do also just quickly want to mention that I will be doing bookmas this year. So I'm going to be doing the 12 days of bookmas over 24 days. So instead of concentrating all my videos from day 1 to day 12 in December, or 12 to 24, I'm going to post every other day in the month of December from December 1st to the 24th. I feel like that would work better for my schedule first and foremost, but honestly for you guys too, because I feel like sometimes Vlogmas and Bookmas can be a little overwhelming with all of your favorite creators posting every single day. So yeah, I'm gonna do it the kind of more spread out way. And because we are doing Bookmas, I do want to mention that there is not going to be a Sunday upload on November 30th. So this will be my last video I am posting in November. I am so sorry. I know so many of you love to spend Sunday mornings together with our usual Sunday uploads here, but I will be skipping Sunday, but a video will be coming up on Monday, December 1st instead of the Sunday one, and then Bookmas will begin. So that is the month of December. But we obviously first, before we get into Bookmas and everything, we actually have to pick the books we're going to be reading this next month. So let's get into it, starting with a pink prompt because we got to keep following our tradition of picking pink first. Okay, I've had this one before. I don't think I've gotten this prompt for a few months though, but this one says flowers on the cover, which honestly doesn't really give me winter vibes in terms of book options, but we'll see. We'll see what we get with this one. Oh my gosh, I see flowers right here. Oh, hold on. Okay, so this is The Everlasting by Alix Harrow. I have heard wonderful things about this book. This is a fantasy. I'm pretty sure it's a standalone, but we follow a lady knight, I think, and a historian. So our historian is sort of studying the histories and like what this lady knight went through in the past, and I think there's some sort of like a magical realism thing that happens, and I think he finds himself within the pages of his history books or something. Yeah, he's sent through time, and the historian's task is to ensure that Sir Una, that's our lady knight, meets her tragic fate, but instead Owen falls in love with this complex woman behind the legend. He doesn't know how to watch her die or how many times he's done it before, so he is, yeah, living through history and trying to rewrite her story so she doesn't die, because now he's fallen in love with her. Yeah, I've heard so many good things about this one, and I'm so curious to read this because the only other book I've read from Alix Harrow is Starling House, and that one is very much a gothic fantasy, haunted house vibes, very different sounding than this one. So I'm really curious to see how her writing translates into this sort of a genre. So I'm excited about that one. That is a good choice, and it definitely, oh yeah, I didn't even show you the close-up of the cover. Definitely you can see some flower action on the cover. This probably has flowers on it. Oh no, it actually does not. It's very intricate, but no flowers, thank goodness, because I know I've been putting off A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon a lot, but I think just due to the nature of Bookmas happening in December, I'm trying to prioritize just shorter reads because our video schedule is going to be so aggressive. So yeah, we're gonna definitely try and prioritize shorter reads in the December TBR. I see a flower right here actually. This is Night Weaver by R.M. Gray. I've had this sitting on my cart for so long, but we definitely have some flowers wrapped around this sword with wings, which definitely looks very intriguing. I honestly forget what this one is about though. It's been so long since I received this book. I think this one was sent to me by the publisher. Oh yeah, this one's the pirate romantasy. Okay, fun. We have forbidden romance, elemental magic, breathtaking twists, a propulsive romantasy about an iron-willed heroine avenging her brother and discovering her destiny. Perfect for fans of Powerless and Heartless Hunter. Okay, the Heartless Hunter intrigues me. The Powerless, not so much, but we could just be using Powerless as like a, you know, popular comp title. So that's an option. I don't know if I will pick this one up though. Ooh, this is so flowery. So this is Never Ever After by Su Lin Tan. This is some sort of a fairy tale retelling. This is a Cinderella retelling, but mixed in with Chinese mythology, which I think Su Lin Tan does really well. Definitely seems like similar vibes to the Daughter of the Moon Goddess in that way. Oh no. Oh, is it another love triangle? Because that was the thing I did not like about Daughter of the Moon Goddess, was the love triangle plot, and this sounds like it's leaning towards love triangle, which I'm a little nervous about, but I love her writing, beautiful writing, and this definitely has flowers on the cover. I think this Woman Kingdom has flowers on it too. Yeah, we definitely have flower action there by Tahara Mafi, and I want to get into this series so badly. But okay, out of these three, what do I want to choose? I really want to read The Everlasting by Alix E. Harrow. I feel like it's just such a buzzy book right now, and if there's anything about me, it's that I fall for buzz, okay? I get so influenced by everyone else on like what books to read, so I don't know. This one's calling to me, and it hasn't been on my TBR cart for that long, but I want to pick it. So this is gonna be book one. All right, book number 2 is going to be a green prompt. Let's see. Oh, okay. Enemies to Lovers. You know what? If there is something about my current mood of what I want to read, it's that I don't really feel like reading Enemies to Lovers right now. I will read anything else. But okay, let's see if we can find an Enemies to Lovers. I mean, I know Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco is probably Enemies to Lovers, but I really don't feel like it, if I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Is Assistant to the Villain Enemies to Lovers? Because I know it's about Evie who works for a villain and ends up falling in love with the villain. And I know it's not like your typical romantasy because it's a comedic romantasy versus like a dark, serious, high stakes romantasy. But is it Enemies to Lovers? Please tell me. I know a lot of you guys say this is like Shrek vibes. Is this Enemies to Lovers? I don't know. Should I look it up? Will the internet tell me if this is Enemies to Lovers? Please say yes. Please say yes. Please say yes. Because I need to read this. This is on my 10 before the end list. Okay, Assistant to the Villain is not really Enemies to Lovers. It's more morally gray boss and chaotic assistant. Well, way to ruin my vibe, internet. Oh, could we do a Reaper at the Gates actually by Sabaa Tahir to continue a series? No, were they actually enemies? I mean, they're kind of like set up in an enemy situation, but I don't think they were ever actual enemies to each other in terms of like what their interactions looked like. I wouldn't call this a true Enemies to Lovers actually. Ugh, okay, maybe not, but I want to pick that one. I just really am not in the mood. I'm really not in the mood for Enemies to Lovers, guys. House of the Beast, what is this one about again? I remember picking this one up because I met someone at a HarperCollins event that recommended this book to me. I do know that the author, Michelle Wong, is an illustrator. She actually illustrated the Legend of Korra, what is it called? The Legends of Korra, like the spin-off to Avatar: The Last Airbender. I actually never watched the spin-off series, but I really do love Avatar: The Last Airbender. And she wrote this book, and there are so many beautiful illustration moments in this book that she obviously did herself as an illustrator. And I've just heard really, really good things. Like, yeah, it's so cute. As you flip through the book, there are just these little drawings and sketches and things in there. But what is this one about? Do we have maybe an Enemies to Lovers situation, please? Fingers crossed. This is about a young woman who strikes a deal with a mysterious and alluring god to seek revenge on her aristocratic family, but whose love interest. Born out of wedlock and shunned by society, Alma learned to make her peace with solitude, so long as she had her mother by her side. When her mother becomes gravely ill, Alma discovers a clue about her estranged father and writes a message begging for help. Little does she know that she is a bastard of House Avera, one of the 4 noble families that serve the gods and are imbued with their powers, and her father is a vessel of the dread beast, the most frightening god of all, a harbinger of death. Is that not an Enemies to Lovers then? You know what? The internet is telling me House of the Beast is enemies to lovers. I feel like we can choose this one then for our enemies to lovers book. That is probably like the last prompt I wanted to choose from the jar this month, but I think we found a good one. I think this one will take a different sort of a twist, like from your usual enemies to lovers book. So yeah, we're gonna do House of the Beast by Michelle Wong. That took a while, but enemies to lovers, we found one. Okay, prompt 3. Let's see what we get. Okay. Ooh, great. Okay, no, this is actually good. This is actually a wonderful prompt because, as I was just mentioning, I don't want to start a new series right now at the end of the year, and this prompt actually says standalone. Yes. Okay, the jar did not have our side with the enemies to lovers thing, but it did have our side now with the standalone thing. So, standalones. I feel like we could go fiction with this one. So, Lightbreakers by Aja Gable. I'm probably butchering that name right now. I'm so sorry, but this one I just got from Book of the Month last month, I think. But this one follows a couple, and I think they start playing around with time and memory, I think. Yeah, Noah is invited by the Yarros project to help unravel the secrets of time travel, and he jumps at the opportunity. So he starts participating in dangerous secret experiments that could result in something he thought impossible, seeing his daughter again, because Noah, the husband, actually had a child from a previous marriage, but that child passed away when she was 4 years old. Yeah, he does this time travel experiment so he can see his daughter again, and I think the ex-wife Serena starts getting involved, and in the meantime, Maya also kind of gets involved with this time travel thing to return to her own past in Japan and to a formative lover who once shattered her heart. So we have these two characters in this marriage that are going through a whole bunch of different things with grief and sadness and trauma, and they may or may not find their ways back to each other, or maybe they find themselves like splitting ways because of the things they're uncovering in their past. Either way, I don't know what direction this book takes, but the concept of it sounds so cool. So that is definitely an option. I've also wanted to read Broken Country by Clare Leslie Hall. Again, another book I've heard so much about. This one is like a mystery fiction, I'm pretty sure. So we have Beth and her kind, gentle husband, Frank. They're happily married, though their relationship relies on the past staying buried. When Beth's brother-in-law shoots a dog going after their sheep, Beth doesn't realize that the gunshot will alter the course of their lives. The dog belonged to none other than Gabriel Wolfe, the man Beth loved as a teenager, the man who broke her heart years ago. Gabriel has returned to the village with his young son, Leo, a boy who reminds Beth very much of her own son, who died a few years earlier in a tragic accident. As Beth is pulled back into Gabriel's life, tensions around the village rise and dangerous secrets and latent jealousies from the past resurface. This time with deadly consequences, Beth is forced to choose between the woman she once was and the woman she has become. And this is described as a sweeping love story with the pace and twists of a thriller. Honestly, the two of these kind of sound like similar premises, similar starting points, but where this one takes more of a love story thriller, this one goes more of a sci-fi fiction route. Very interesting that these two books that I picked up both follow adults with tragic incidents that happened to their kids, and then also has this element of like diving into your past and then choosing between your previous lover and your current lover. Both sound incredible. So those two are options. I don't even know if I want to pick another one off the cart for this prompt. I think I'm happy with these two. Can I pick both? They both sound so good. Let's do the first sentence test with these two. So this is what I do every time I can't pick between two books. So first sentence of Lightbreakers. In the beginning, there was happiness. It's so simple, but it hits so hard. So that's Lightbreakers. That's pretty strong. And then Broken Country. The farmer is dead. He is dead, and all anyone wants to know is who killed him. Okay, so one started with like a hit in the gut, and the other one started with like an intriguing question that makes you want to learn more. I think because I'm a curious person and this one gave me a question to think about, like I need to know the answer, I think I'm gonna go Broken Country. Yeah, I think that sounds like the correct choice. So book 3, standalone, is going to be Broken Country by Clare Leslie Hall. Let's go prompt 4. Let's see. Oh my gosh, we have another pink one. This says, okay, no. Okay, No, no, no. This one says beach read. I have never ever put a prompt back into the jar, but I think today we need to make an exception because I am not picking up a beach read in the middle of December during bookmas, okay? I'm so sorry. I'm being honest with you. I'm throwing, just completely missed the jar, but I'm throwing this, okay, back into the jar and we're gonna forget that ever happened, okay? Because we're just not picking up a beach read this month. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Okay, we picked up a yellow one. Let's hope this one's more seasonally appropriate. Okay. We are really setting a mood in December because we just picked up a sad book because seasonal depression was not enough. We're just gonna read a bunch of sad books. I feel like Broken Country probably could have fit into this prompt. Light Breakers maybe fits into this prompt because this seems pretty sad too with the stuff we're dealing with. Is A Sea of Unspoken Things sad? This has been on my TBR for a year, since January. I know this one digs up the twin of our main character's death and things that happen there, so there's definitely a sad tone, at least an ominous tone, but I feel like Adrian Young books have not really read as sad to me in the past. They've kind of just been more like dark and moody over purely just sad. So I feel like probably not. Oh, I have Second Chance Cinema here. This one sounds interesting. It's another fiction. This is by Thea Weiss. In this one, I feel like we have a magical realism twist in this one. So we have a glamorous cinema at the end of a dark alley. It's nearly impossible to find, but when Ellie and her fiance Drake stumble upon it during a late night walk, they're shocked to discover what's playing inside the red velvet auditorium, their formative memories. Drake is nervous about what the cinema might reveal, but he eventually gives in when Ellie insists they return for more viewings. She's haunted by a night from her past that she doesn't fully remember, and this could be her only opportunity to piece the story back together. But as their memories projected on the screen inch closer to the present, they realize they're both keeping secrets from one another. They have a wedding on the horizon. I think like what they see in the cinema kind of determines if they want to get married or not. So this sounds good too. Again, another one that we're kind of diving into the past with memories. Is that like a theme for this month for the books I've grabbed recently? Is this one sad though? The thing is, I don't know if a book's gonna be sad until I read it, you know? I mean, I also have Great and Precious Things by Rebecca Yarros. This has also been sitting on my cart for a long time, and if there's anyone who can make me cry every single time, it's Rebecca Yarros. This one is another one of her military romances. 6 years ago, when Camden came back from war without his younger brother, no one in the small town of Alba, Colorado would forgive him, especially his father. Cam left, swearing to return, but a desperate message from his father brings it all back. The betrayal, the pain, and the need to go home again. But home is where the one person he still loves is waiting. Willow, the one woman he can never have, because there are secrets buried in Alba that are best left in the dark. Yeah, it says here, Great and Precious Things is a heart-wrenching story about family, betrayal, and ultimately how far we're willing to go on behalf of those who need us most. I don't know about you, that sounds pretty sad to me. It might have to be this one, because I feel like out of all of the books, like any of these could make me cry. Who knows, but this one I feel like has been the only book that has been outright described as heart-wrenching. You know what? I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good and I'm gonna read this book that's been on my TBR for like over a year. So, sad book, Great and Precious Things. Okay, let's do our fifth and final prompt. Maybe I'll actually be more decisive about this next one. Hopefully the jar makes it easy for me to make a decision. Okay, the jar's really calling me out today. So this says, a book you've been avoiding. Okay, I mean, again, A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon, but there's no way I'm picking this book up in December. Like any other month I would, and I'm actually like mentally ready to pick up a long book like that, but it's just the December filming schedule that will not allow me to read a book that long. I have been putting off Throne of the Fallen, but I really don't want to read that right now, okay? I'm really not in a romantasy mood. I could honestly do Assistant to the Villain. I think we're gonna go with this. I don't even know why I've been putting this book off. I have no reason. It's not even like this book sounds intimidating to me because I've read the first couple of sentences and it seems like a very approachable, very comedic read. The book is not overly long or thick or big or anything. I don't know why I've been putting this off. I just haven't felt like the time has ever been right to pick it up. But I did promise you guys, I did put this on my 10 before the end list of this year, and we are in the last month of this year. So I mean, no time like the present to finally choose Assistant to the Villain and put it on the monthly TBR. It is truly happening, you guys. Finally, it only took like, what, a year and a half? There we have it. I've made up my mind. This is going to be our 5th book. The book that I've been putting off for literally no reason. I think we have a very interesting TBR this next month. We definitely have a diverse selection of reads. I don't really know what mood this is giving. They are honestly, truly just all very, very different books. So we have Assistant to the Villain by Nicole Maehrer. We have Shrek vibes, and this is the book that I've been putting off for no reason. We have Great and Precious Things by Yarros for our sad book. This is a military romance. Broken Country by Clare Leslie Hull. This is our standalone book. House of the Beast by Michelle Wong for our Enemies to Lovers. And The Everlasting by Alix Harrow for book with flowers on the cover. I'm excited. I'm actually really excited about this. It looks drastically different than our TBR last month, but I feel like this sort of fits my vibe of when I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I don't even know what mood I'm in. Like, I don't know what types of books I want to pick up next. I feel like this gives me a good variety of things, and also a couple of books that are maybe like branching out of the usual genre of books that I read. So I think this is going to be very, very good for us, or me. I guess I'm going to be the one reading these, but maybe you guys can read these along with me in the month of December. Anyways, that is our December TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like and a comment. If you don't know what to comment down below, let me know what is on your December TBR. As a reminder, there will be no video coming out on Sunday, November 30th, but I will be back the next day on Monday, December 1st for the beginning of Bookmas. So I'm so excited for this next month. I hope you are too. If you want to follow along for Bookmas, definitely subscribe. But yeah, just also in general, if you like me, subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!